be ready.
So let's start with the D&D
Leveling Up Podcast. One more time for y'all. This is your boy King D Money, aka Daryl Effort, and
your boy DWT, Dirk Warren Taylor, aka the D Train, baby.
Hey, we back again with another D&D Leveling Up Podcast. Y'all know how we do it. We take it to the limit, man. We push it to the limit.
Pushing it to the limit.
That's right, man.
That's right. Hey, bro, listen, everybody, we got some amazing content for you today. Make sure that when you see our YouTube channel, or you see our Twitter, or you see our Instagram, subscribe, put the like button, put in your comments. You know what I'm saying? Make sure to promote this talk. Tell your friends about it. If you find anything about our content that is engaging, that's interesting, that's something that's be able to help you. Because basically what we're here for is to help you level up, help you to get focused on what you need to do in order to get to the next level. And that's basically what we're about. D, I really want to talk to you about this situation where it really had to do with legacy and focus and your dopamine levels. You know what I'm saying? Because I was looking at this guy, shout out to Soul Immortal, he has his own podcast, and he was talking about semen retention, right?
Right.
And people not masturbating and you building up that energy in you. And see, what happens is that when you build up that energy, you can focus it on other things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, and he said something that was really crazy to me, and it really shocked me, and it kind of like took me to a different level, is that a lot of times you're trying to build momentum to do certain things, right? And if you, of course, have a release, right, whether it's through sex with somebody else or whatever the case may be, whatever you do, behind closed doors, I don't know what you do, whatever you do, whatever release you do what you do.
Whatever gets your rocks up.
Yeah. by that to energy, that's like a sexual energy, right? And that energy can be redirected. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have that energy, he said you can either redirect that into something that's spiritual. He said you can manifest stuff, but you got to learn to transmute things too. So he said one thing that was key is he said that if you have semen retention with the woman that you're in a relationship with and you don't have sex with her, that's not the woman for you. And I thought about why that was, because I was thinking about my own experiences. I was thinking there are women I have withheld myself from, and I realized I didn't want my seed in that woman because I didn't want her to carry my children. That's the reason why it was because any woman you're attracted to and you want to be with, you're willing to. You don't have a problem.
Desire is something you can't fake.
You can't fake desire.
You can't fake true desire.
Exactly.
Like they always say, women already know if they're gonna have sex with you or not.
Exactly.
Whether they want to have sex with you. They know from basically Jump Street. Yeah. And it's that true desire that gets them that desire, that nature in them that tells them this is a great partner. Yeah. This is the guy I want to be with. And nothing's gonna shake that.
Exactly.
Until you open your mouth and say something.
you might open your mouth and
like, nah.
He talking.
She still likes you, but her brain is now the brain part has kicked in.
Like,
and it's just like, nah, I thought this was it. It looked, it smelled great, it was awesome, but maybe not this lifetime.
Exactly. It's so funny you should say that. Like, I have a friend of mine, he says that, and the Bible tells you that he who will find a wife find a good thing, right? He who findeth a wife. But my friend told me something that's interesting. He said that women choose you. Like, they choose you. They choose, like, if they want you to be their husband, they're choosing you. Because you really can't force a woman to do anything. She can do whatever she wants because that's her own mindset. But she makes a choice, a conscious choice. Like, you're going to be my husband, or you're going to be the person that I will allow to come into this, into my space, my personal space, and invade it, because that's basically something that they're trying to protect, right?
Yes, sir.
So, but going back to this whole thing with the dopamine, the dopamine is when you have your levels of joy, what brings joy to your body. So when you watch something, when people watch porn, or they have sex, or they watch video games, your dopamine levels are on high.
Yeah.
So what happens is that highness and pleasure that you're receiving from that dopamine that releases those chemicals in your body, you need to have. He was talking about the fact that you have to learn how to compress it and channel that energy into other things. Because if you just release it out to just dissipate, you can't use it to level yourself up. It's almost like you need, like for instance, if instead of you watching women or girls watching men on Instagram and looking at the Instagram models and stuff and getting your dopamine levels on that, that energy going to that, your energy could be going to focusing on your business, getting your accounting right, started working on your LLC, started working on your business credit, start focusing on certain things. Because when you think about it, another individual that's in your life, they're either going to be a distraction or they're going to be an addition to what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
True transparent moment. I have 2 iPhones. I have games on both.
Yeah.
And I have seasons of my life where I catch myself playing that game all day.
Yeah.
For a couple days. And then something clicks in my head. You could be doing so much other productive stuff with this time, energy and time.
Yeah, correct.
You got so much other stuff you could be doing, and at that moment I erase all the games because I know I'm there. Yeah. I'm just gonna be there in that moment, and that dopamine is gonna be kicking. And at one point I had a PlayStation 4, and I would come home and I would be on Call of Duty until it was time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours, doing the same thing over and over and over. Same maps, same characters, same situations, just leveling up piece by piece in the game, but realizing that I'm getting nowhere fast. Like when I'm out the game, once you get out the game, you look around and nothing that you need to level you up is leveling you up. Nothing. There's nothing there for you. You have literally wasted or just spent time in the wrong space.
Exactly.
Or in the wrong head space.
You know what's interesting to interject is that, I need to cut you, is that
no, you're good, bro.
There's power in suppressing your pleasure. Because when you suppress your pleasure moments or your pressure points, you actually focus more. Because when you think about it, like the reason why we do the things that we do is because we feel like, oh, life sucks. I need something to distract me, to relax my brain, because I don't want to deal with this stuff. So that's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I need something to get my dopamine levels up to distract me from my everyday life, because I hate my job and I don't want to do that crap, and that's terrible. So let me go. So person will go gamble, they'll watch porn, they'll be on Instagram, they'll do any type of vice or whatever the case may be. Right. It doesn't have to be a bad vice, it could be anything. You could be eating cornstarch. You know what I'm saying? Some people do that to get away. You whatever you need to dope yourself up to get away from life. If you can get away from that and focusing not on the pleasures of life, just focusing what you need to get done in life, then you'll end up getting all the pleasures you want because you prepared a foundation. So for instance, if you wanted to get the business going, instead of watching TV and watching movies, because I was thinking about this, I was like, you know what? When I started thinking about leveling up, I said, let's reduce pleasure. Stop watching TV, right? Watch TV when you eat. As soon as you finish eating, stop watching TV, go back to the grind. Go back to the grind. Forget about your pleasure, because if you think about any person who's made anything of themselves, the key thing or key word in there is self-sacrifice. More self-sacrifice, the better the situation, or the more that you build up momentum. When you suffer for weirdest things like this, we don't think about it like this, right? When you're working out, you got to build up muscle mass, right?
Yeah,
you gotta suffer.
You gotta tear things up.
You gotta rip muscles.
Rip muscles so that,
you know what I'm saying?
So that your body says, let me come in.
You know what I'm saying?
and repair things. And
exactly.
It takes energy to do that. So that energy spent repairing things is energy that your body's going to use to make you a little bit smaller, a little bit toner. It's going to use the muscles and the energy to make you a little more aware of what's going on.
Yep. Those little tears that go in your muscle, they have to repair and they get bigger and stronger. But it's all suffering when you think about it. He said that anytime he went from one level to the next level, he suffered for a period of time. Once he suffered, after that suffering period, went to the next level. But it's self-induced. Not to say we want to try to make self-inflict suffering on ourselves.
Right.
But I'm saying is stop focusing on trying to please yourself for the sake of pleasure to kind of really dope yourself out of life. And focus on being disciplined and sacrifice the things that make you feel happy on the inside, so you could gain momentum to the point where now you can have complete happiness or joy in everything because you sacrificed so long for certain things. I'll give you an example. I don't know if I was talking to you about this, but I was realizing when you have a tipping point, like certain artists, musicians they're at a tipping point. Yeah, I did talk about this to somebody else. Like, you have certain artists, they have a trajectory, right? And things happen. And they don't get to that point of that tipping point where they're over that mountain where everybody knows them. So it does not, once you get to the tipping point, right? You're good because everybody knows you and they know how much you're worth. So they're going to pay you based on what you're worth now because you got to that point where everybody in the world knows who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember dealing with some other groups, and we know about our group. You got to trajectory at a certain point. COVID hits. It cuts the legs out from under your momentum, right?
Yes,
so then guess what? Now you got to start all over again. Whereas other groups who have gone to that point and got to that tipping point and went over, they don't have to come back from that.
They don't have to come back. They don't have to come back from such a long fall.
Exactly. Their trajectory has already tipped them over. Like as soon as they get to that trajectory, it doesn't matter. Everything from that point is gravy. If they mess up, it's really bad on them because they've already got to the point where everybody knows them. They've got name recognition. They've got brand recognition. They can make money no matter what. It's just a matter of how you channel it and which relationships and alliances you put things to go. You would
right. Yeah, man. I found myself like noticing that if you, especially being in this music business for the last maybe like 12, 13 years, that if you make it to a certain point, you are, you're set. Really, all you're doing is maintaining.
All you're doing is maintaining.
You're maintaining because you have put in the groundwork. You have met the people that are going to talk about you, and they're going to talk about you to the people that they know. And those people want to talk about you because other people know you.
Exactly.
And when you're not at that point, you're still gathering your network.
Yeah.
You're still putting your team together. The talent's there, but you guys have to create you have to create a product that stands, that is just going to be there when somebody wants to pull it out and shop it around to other people. When people already know you, you don't have to shop.
Exactly. You don't have to shop anything. And guys, you don't have to be a musician to take something from this. This could be anything. This could be your business. You as a person, you have product, and your product could be your brand, who you are. You selling yourself. Yes, and basically, you're really selling yourself to every person that you meet.
Period.
It's just basically on it's just in how in which you package yourself to individuals. Because your first impression is basically how you presenting yourself to individuals. They're going to believe your word or believe any ideas based on your impressions of who you are, of how you sold yourself. If you sell yourself like you're a Honda, you're a Honda. You sell yourself like you're a Maybach or a Mercedes, you know what I'm saying, or a Jaguar, that's how people see you. Because you know what, one thing that he did say too, I want another shout out to Soul Immortal, is that you are a reflection, people are the reflection, like who you attract is a reflection of who you are. So if you're trying to get to a certain level of people, don't try to change other people or trying to change the situations outside of yourself. Go internally, take inventory, and start thinking like, what am I doing that's attracting or deflecting reflecting what I want. You know, one thing he did talk about was like visualizing, you know, vision boards were great, but he says that if you start focusing on internalizing the vision instead of just looking at it and start thinking about it, how it's going to come to pass, seeing yourself in the house, seeing yourself in the car. You can't just look at it and say, okay, that's my vision board and I see the vision. The Bible says, you know, write the vision, make it plain. Mm-hmm. So you do write down your vision. Yes, but then you got to start thinking about it, okay? The more you think, so the Bible says, so man thinketh, so is he. So start putting things in place. The more you think about things, the more you're going to be like, you know what? I got to get this house. There's a way. You know, and it's so funny. We always think there's never a solution. But somebody before you has been in your situation and has created the solution to it, and they're out of that problem. You just haven't got to the point of having the knowledge to get out of that problem. You see, this is a problem, right? You see, okay, your rent going up is a problem. It's a number. You think, well, somebody before you and somebody right now is paying double, triple, quadruple that amount, or less, maybe for the same place or whatever, or same square footage,
right,
or in a different area, or in a better area. But there's a solution, because what they're doing, somebody has found a solution to that problem. You just got to figure out how to get that solution. That's all you need. All you need is strategy.
You need strategy, man. I tell people all the time, it's not really, you can know, but you might not know. You might not have that in your head right now. You might not have that in your space. So sometimes you have to get around other people that do know.
True.
It's people that have gone through and people that have solved the solution already are the people you need to be around. It's like every day, if you go every day, you go to the lunchroom and everybody's crying about the next thing. Oh, my shift isn't long enough. Oh, I can't make enough money here. But they do it every day.
Yeah.
No change.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. They're just in the break room talking about the same problem every day. You are ingesting that habit.
Yeah.
You're taking it in. And all you're going to do is keep the cycle going. You're going to keep the cycle going of sitting there and talking about the problem. And one day you just hope one day it'll just pop in your head. But you have to make that decision, you have to cut that off. You have to go on another route, even if you don't have the answer right then and there.
Correct.
You have to decide to cut that type of talk out of your diet.
Yeah.
We don't, and I watched a couple podcasts where they talked about diet, and it's not always what you eat, but it's what you take in.
Wow, that's crazy.
Your eyes have a diet.
Yeah.
Your ears are on a diet.
True that, bro. Oh my God.
The feelings that you subject yourself to are a diet.
Yeah.
Everything is something that you're taking in. Your brain is there, but your brain created your eyes so that it could see. Your brain created your ears so you can hear. But it's all attached to the brain at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's all an experience that you're having. So this experience is either gonna, you can either digest the worst things for your body, or you can digest the best things for your body. And I feel that we have to stop just thinking that it's already hard enough to eat well.
Yeah, that's true. You can go to HelloFresh now. Shout out to HelloFresh. Y'all better give us something for that.
You know what I'm saying? If y'all got it, HelloFresh, go ahead.
Send us something our way.
Send us something our way, man. You ain't got to, matter of fact, don't send us. Give us a sponsorship, man. We'll shout y'all out.
Exactly.
Okay? You let us know what you want to bring to us.
Exactly.
And we'll bring this audience HelloFresh.
Exactly.
But with that being said, we have to start digesting and ingesting things that are better for the situation you want. Like you were saying.
You know, it's so funny you should just talk about digest. Something just came up in my spirit is that I remember thinking you should be ingesting things that give you life. Like even your food. I remember, I'm not a vegetarian, but I remember thinking about like foods that are, because you know what foods are good for your body and what are bad. You just know. You know what makes you tired, makes you exhausted.
Okay, in that sense, yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so you know what foods are bringing death really to your body and bringing life to your body. Because there's certain foods that basically, or how you prepare them, you basically know that this food is good and beneficial, is bringing life and peace. Like I remember thinking one time, I want to only eat foods that bring peace to my body. Like if it disrupts my spirit or my body, that's not a food I should be eating. You know what I'm saying? If it sets my body off balance, where my blood pressure is high, my sugar level is high, and it offsets the way I feel, because if I eat too many cookies, I'm gonna get a sugar rush. It's gonna make me tired and exhausted. If I eat too much donuts, if I have too much salt, it's gonna bring my blood pressure up.
Yeah, too many ribs.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna bring my stress level is gonna go higher. So if that's the case, then those foods don't bring peace to my body. Like I'm a steward over my own body. So if I'm a steward over my body and my life, I should ingest things that's going to create peace. And then it's also a reflection of the people that you ingest into your life, right? Because we taking people in. We ingesting what they are into our lives too. So like you said before, if you're ingesting all this negativity that's in the break room because of all those people that you need to cut off, you're ingesting all that poison into your spirit, all that poison into your brain. So you only stay on the level that they're at because now you're breathing it.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there we go. Breathing in.
You're breathing it in.
Taking it in. It's another experience that your body is having. You're around people that are never want to actually. They want to move.
Yeah.
But they won't. And you know it.
I think most people want to get out of their situations. Yeah. They just don't know how, and they don't know the strategies to get out. And then it comes to, I think a lot of times it comes to some pride too.
Oh, the pride. Oh man, I have to change mine. I have to change me.
Exactly.
You telling me, Mr. Perfect, has to change to actually have something happen different in my life? I'm perfect. What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's interesting. I was looking at this video about narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths. Narcissists are people who are into themselves, believe they're right, they're insecure, so they make up for it by doing a certain amount of things to prop themselves up. People who are psychopaths do bad things, and the gene or the function in the brain that allows them to care or bring empathy about doing bad things, they don't have it. Sociopaths are made by their environment where they can do bad things, but they do it over a course of time till they get to the point where they're callous about it and they're creative. They might have empathy for a little while on certain things, but then they won't. They'll start to It's almost like a person grows up in a criminal lifestyle. After a period of time, they get hardened to it. So they grow. So basically, psychopaths are born, sociopaths are made, and narcissists are also people who decide to be who they are going to be. Like people who are really arrogant, you know what I'm saying? People who are full of themselves because of their own, lack of security in themselves, you know what I'm saying? And think everything is about them. A lot of times in relationships, people are narcissists, everything is about them. Not to say all women, but there are some women who are very much narcissistic, men too, but it's all about them. And in a relationship, you really can't. We're pivoting, guys. We're going to pivot in different ways, and you just got to keep up with us, all right? So, there's sometimes where you basically, if things are all about you, you can never bring nothing. Your hands are never out to receive. You know what I'm saying? So if I told you, like, you're in that situation where you're surrounded like those people, when I talk to you, if you think, oh, you know what? I already got this under control. It's all about me anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's not about them. It's about me and what I want to do. My pride. and what I feel like doing. And because you do that, you can't take in anything else.
It's still. I feel like it still ties into ingestion.
Yeah.
They're either afraid of what they might experience by giving up that leeway of letting the feeling for you change who they are.
Yeah.
They want their diet to stay the same.
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't change, or they don't give into the things that you want, or your feelings, because they're afraid that it might change them.
Yeah. And this is the thing, a lot of that has to do with insecurity. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, when you think about a narcissist will do something bad, but they'll feel empathy. The sociopath and the psychopath have no empathy whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Or the psychopath might get nervous. I mean, no, not the psychopath. They say the sociopath will get. So I'll give you an example. Say a person's getting pulled over by the cops. The sociopath will get nervous about it, right? And because they know something's bad happened, they have a body in the trunk. The psychopath won't care at all if there's a body in the trunk. It's just one thing or the other. It's a matter of this being over here. Narcissist, of course, has empathy, so they would care. That would be a different person. They would care. They have some type of empathy. So a lot of times we don't recognize that there's certain people in our life that don't have empathy. If you don't have empathy for another individual, how can you have empathy for yourself? You know what I'm saying? So how could you want to ingest something good for yourself if you don't care for it about anybody else? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
When in terms of, you want to say something?
No, I'm thinking.
You're just mulling over that? But
I'm just thinking about that.
When it comes down to it, I was thinking about, like you said before, it's the people you surround yourself that you ingest in things with. And I kind of got off the topic with the other thing, but I felt like I wanted to talk about it because even in relationships, I'm dealing with individuals who are like off-center. And I was trying to figure out is that person a narcissist, they're a psychopath, or a sociopath? I feel like the person was a narcissist, but they have empathy, but they're doing bad things, right? But they're not feeling bad about it. So isn't that psychopathic? Or they're being, but there's a person that's born that way. But I'm starting to think about the influences that individual's life. They don't realize they're doing these bad things. But I know they're not psychopathic because if they're a psychopath, they have no empathy. So maybe they're a sociopath because they have a little bit of empathy once they realize it, but they don't realize they're doing bad things. They've got callous to the fact they're doing these wrong things. So I'm trying to figure out where that individual lays at.
I feel you, bro.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
you got to know somebody is to know what they ingest. To know what they're taking in. To know what they have taken in.
Exactly. And this is the thing. This individual I'm talking about was taking in very evil things. Like listening to shows on evil stuff and watching evil things. And you're like, things that are like, murders and all this type of stuff.
Right.
And you're thinking to myself like, yo, you're taking in this stuff. Do you really? And going to sleep and listening to this stuff. So it's like deadly this, deadly women, this and this. I'm thinking to myself, why would you listen to that stuff? Like, if you don't want to do that stuff, but it's getting into you.
That's a whole nother podcast right there.
Yeah.
It's getting up to when you sit there and watching it, and I have my own experience with that, and and some of it is a little bit of insecurity. My fiance, now my wife, was reading a book because it's entertainment to her, and it was The 7 Marriages of Some Lady. And I was like, why would you're getting married.
Yeah.
Why would you read a book on somebody who got married 7 times?
Exactly. Because they're obviously not successful, right?
They're not successful at this.
Yeah, he's not successful, yeah.
So everything that you're gonna watch, everything that you're gonna read is going to be
tainted.
It's gonna take away from what you're trying to create.
Exactly.
You want to create a whole life with somebody, but you're watching somebody else who created 7 lives with 7 other people.
Yeah, and then 7 different people.
Yet you want to be successful at the one you're in.
Correct.
And I was like, if one part of me, I feel like maybe the intelligent part of me was like, why would you do that? Mm-hmm. 2, if I was reading a book on divorces, would it not worry her? Come on, let's be real. If I was studying, if I was studying divorce law, right before I got married, if I was studying prenups, if I was studying the best prenups in America,
girl, hint, prenups,
would it not send off flares in your head?
Exactly.
Like, does that not, so it's like, people do stuff, say they do it for entertainment. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is what I like, but at the same time, I have to ask myself, like, if that's what you like, but you notice that it's destroying everybody else's life, how do you keep ingesting that thing? How do you keep watching and reading and indulging in the type of shows, books, or audiobooks that go against the very thing that you're trying to do?
It's so funny you talking about that. The key thing, and guys, we're coming around to this because it really doesn't seem like it ties in, but it does tie in because you're ingesting certain things, right? And these things that you ingest are bringing about your legacy. You're leaving a legacy within inside of yourself that's going to be presented or manifest in the other person, because whatever you are, you're a key to that other individual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're a key to that other individual, you want to unlock some things that other individual. That's why you're together. You're not only together because you're attracted to each other. You're together because you're supposed to unlock something in that other individual, and they're supposed to unlock something in you to take you to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And you can't do that if you're ingesting things that doesn't create the lock, doesn't open the lock up. If you're ingesting, like you said, divorce law.
If I'm studying prenups,
exactly,
before we get married,
obviously there's a reason behind it.
There's a reason behind it.
The Bible says that the curse does not come without cause. So like people think, oh, this just happened because it just happened. No, it happened because there's a cause for it. You might not know what the cause is, but there's a cause for it. And there's just like there's another scripture, and I hate to be going off on scripture, but I just really want you guys to understand that there's a lot of biblical principles that will help you. It says money answers all things. You know what I'm saying? So you have it's almost like that thing when we go back to the solution. There's a solution out there that answers all things for you.
I know you were saying that these things don't tie into each other, but they do. Yeah. There's a solution that's going to fix this problem. Now, the problem is, now we got to talk about how we get to the solution.
Yeah.
And the solution usually isn't in the thing that's not fixing the problem.
Exactly.
Which is where we go back into digestion. It's not in the thing that doesn't fix the problem.
Yeah.
If it hasn't been fixing it.
Yeah.
If you've tried it 1,000,000 times, your friends tried it, they tried it, he tried it, she tried it, they tried it, and it didn't work, why would you do it again?
Exactly. And this is the thing. You gotta wake up to the reality of, Albert, excuse me, I can't speak. Albert Einstein is saying that, to keep on doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. You say expecting the same result. But you're gonna get, you're not gonna get a different result doing the same thing. You're always gonna get that result because you're not changing the trajectory. You know what I'm saying? If you change what you've done up to this point has not worked. Now it's time to pivot somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
Now it's time to stop taking in what you've been taking in, and now you got to move on to the next thing. Because what you've been taking in has not been feeding you, has not been feeding your dreams, has not feeding your legacy, what you want to have in the future. is not getting you to where you need to be. You talk about divorce law, you get ready to get divorced.
You're getting ready to get divorced. You're prepared for, you are prepared. Now, there are going to be some people out there that say, oh, but I'm just trying to be, I'm trying to be aware. Yeah. I want to know just in case. And I was like, if you're always talking about a just in case, if you have a plan B before you even try plan A.
Exactly. You're done.
You're done already.
Yeah.
You're done. If you got a plan B before you try plan A already, try plan A, you're done already.
You're done. You already made up your mind. You already made up your mind.
You're not in the right mindset to get plan A done. Okay? Now, plan A can be revamped, but it's not a plan B.
Exactly.
It can be pivoted. You can move in different directions inside your plan A, but your plan A does not change.
Exactly.
You stick to the plan A, but the plan A sometimes just has to be revived. You have to start ingesting other things. If you want to start studying, if you want to be a millionaire, study other millionaires.
Exactly.
If you want to know how to manage your money better because you notice that it has just been seeping out of your pocket somewhere. Yeah. Your credit cards are on fire. Study people or study habits that keep actual that have your money do some things for you.
Exactly. You take inventory. This is what you do. You have an issue with money, write down every single thing that you spend every single day and add that up for that whole month. And make sure you line item everything that you do, and then look for all the ways you can put that money away. Because what happens, you got a lot of money. You got money to do what you need to get done.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying? You have the money, or you can find a way to get access to it. There's a solution to it. You just don't know what the solution is. You got to seek and find it. Mm-hmm. If you seek and find it, you will find it. And if you don't know, you can there is somebody next to you, or in your family, a friend or somebody who has the answer and the solution that you're looking for. And it's not them giving you any money. See, you don't really need to get more money. You need to find a solution and how to strategy to keep the money you already have. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people think, oh, I need more money. No, sometimes you need to save money. You need to keep it. You know what I'm saying? And you need to stop spending more than you have. If you spend more than you earn, you're always going to be in a deficit.
Yeah, man. I watched a guy this week on shout out to EYL Earn Your Leisure, and this guy's a millionaire doing his 9 to 5. Police officer from Chicago who decided that who always wanted to be in greatness. He had to see, but he had to experience other people's greatness, like their homes with 10, 12-foot ceilings, and he had to see his friends who played in football and NFL. He went over their house and said, this is what I want. So he made sure that he was digesting that type of situation
the food to get intake.
And he told them, he was on the podcast saying that I bought a property for every bill that I had.
Wow.
So the property would pay for this property will pay for the Cardinal.
Yeah.
This property will pay for a piece of the mortgage on this house. So this property will pay for the daycare center that I'm going to open. And he would just say, I got houses and I got investment properties for every bill that I got. Mm-hmm. So his solution was that if just get in the market, that particular investment property pays this bill. And you gotta take that. He was taking that same money he was making from being a police officer, making $35,000, $40,000 a year, and rolling it over into something that was creating,
giving you the game, baby. You better get this stuff.
We gotta roll this stuff into something that's creating more money.
Yeah.
That pack of menthols is not creating any more money.
No.
That rack of ribs that you finna crack open for the 4th and for Thanksgiving and for just to have it is not creating any more money. It's not creating any more opportunities.
Yeah.
The money creates the opportunities, people.
Yeah.
The money creates the opportunities. And then sometimes the opportunities get you in places with people that know where to get the other opportunities from.
Yeah. And go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
And they know where to get these opportunities from. So these opportunities create you that money. So you got to take that 9 to 5 money. You can't say that you just don't have it to do to make more money. We have to go and search, just like we would search for that Gucci bag, just like we would search for those Air Force Ones or those Air Jordan 1s. We go searching for these things. We get in lottos for shoes.
Yeah.
We get in a lotto for a pair of shoes that cost somebody $16, $18 to make, and then they sell it back to you for $300-$400.
Exactly.
We have to start using our money and our resources to make more resources.
Exactly. So you don't have to work as hard. Work smarter than harder. I mean, you got to figure out, like, your job is that you have. You got to start seeing a vision for your life. And that vision has to be using your job as a springboard. If you don't like your job, use it as a springboard. How much money can I take, use 401k or the money I'm building up in that to get a match, so I can take that money out at a certain time period to buy a house, to buy property, to purchase some plot of land that I could build on, or to do something else where I don't have to work for anybody else. You got to start thinking in terms of, like, listen, because you don't want to be, working at one of these department stores, when you're 65 and you got to pay a whole bunch of medication, your bills are high, you're on a fixed income, no one can take care of you. You got to be in a position where, listen, you got to take care of your health, you got to take care of yourself, you got to start thinking. I don't care how old you are. Right now, you got to focus on what are you going to do when you retire, how much you're going to save. Because people don't think about, like, if you think about you're 21, 22 years old right now, right? You're going to make a certain amount of money for your lifetime. You can take that money and start investing it right now. Invest
it.
Invest it right now in yourself and in other things. And look toward the future, what you want to create as a legacy. This podcast really is about channeling your energy into where your legacy is going to be at. And how you're going to do that? You're going to channel it by ingesting the right things, the right information, the right strategy. Focus not on the pleasures of life. Focus on self-sacrifice. Trying to find the pathway that what you need to do. The amount of hours that you wake up. This guy said one thing is that you should figure out 2 things in the morning. Who you are and where you're going. Who are you? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Who do you want? The reason why we see people and celebrities, they know who they are. We know who they are. They are so solidified in who they are. You know who The Rock is. If I say who's The Rock, you know who The Rock is. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Johnson. You know who he is. You know who Michael Jackson or Prince are. These celebrities are solely who they are. They're branded into the point where they know who they are and they know where they wanted to go. You got to have the same mindset. Like, listen, I'm a king or I'm a queen. And I know who I am. I know who I belong to. You belong to God if you believe in God. Whoever your God is. And I know where I'm going. You've got to know where you're going. You've got to have a mission in life. You can't be codependent on somebody doing certain things for you. You got to be around people to acquire and ingest knowledge. The more knowledge that you ingest in yourself, the more you can give out to others, and more that will be spread and given back to you. And then you can leave a legacy in your children and other people that will continue.
Let's leave a legacy, y'all.
Yeah.
But first, we got to look around and see what we got.
Yeah.
We got to see what we got.
Take inventory.
Take inventory. Do you have something that's building you, or do you have something that's tearing your whole environment down?
Yeah.
And with that being said, it's been another D&G Leveling Up podcast. It's been another one, y'all. Once again,
another one.
Another great one sitting with my boy
DWT, Dirk Warren Taylor, aka the D Train, coming through.
And you know your boy from around the way. You know your boy, King D Money, aka Daryl Effort. And we just came together, bros and sis and everybody that's out there. We come together to talk about how we're going to level all of us up.
Yes. Absolutely.
How we're going to take it to the next level. How we need to push it to the limit to get there. You gotta push it to the limit. And it's been another great podcast once again, guys. And we want you guys to make sure that you go down, comment, talk about these things. If you believe we're wrong about something, write it.
Yeah, please.
You know what I'm saying? Let us know.
Please inform us.
If we're speaking out the side of our neck,
yeah, tell us.
Let us know. You know what I'm saying? We got no problem. All the smoke is welcome.
Yeah, all
of it. I'm
not gonna read the smoke, but you can.
You know what I'm saying? I'm probably not gonna ingest it that much. But I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna read them.
I'll take all the positivity. I'll let D check out the negativity.
I'll check out what you guys put down. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share.
Yes.
Like please. Once again, we thank you for that in advance. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
But with that listening, our hearts wouldn't be right just to tell you to listen. Take the information, ingest it, think about it, and if it works for you, then it works for you. But you won't know it until you try.
The hardest part is trying.
You gotta try. You gotta get out here and do something different.
We want to encourage you. Come on.
We are here to encourage. We would never get on this podcast to break anyone down. No one. No, I don't care what we believe and what you don't believe in. We're not here to break anybody down. We're here to solidify us and raise us up to the next level. Yes. D&D Leveling Up Podcast. Signing out. Yo,
if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.